So you want to get fluent in English? Like really fluent? Well, today, we're going to talk about something that might seem a little silly. English jokes. But trust me, this is serious stuff. Understanding wordplay, it's kind of like the final boss of English fluency, and it's super rewarding. So let's get into it.
All right, let's just jump right in. Right off the bat, here's a classic for you. Take a second, read it. So, did you laugh? Or are you just kind of scratching your head right now? Hey, if that one totally flew over your head, don't even worry about it. You are not alone. Puns are super tricky, but stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to have all the tools you need to decode not just this joke, but tons of others. So here's what we're going to do. First, we'll break down the 3 secret codes of wordplay. Then, we'll use those codes to crack a few classic jokes. And to finish things off, we're going to tackle a real challenge, a 2-for-1 pun that'll really put your new skills to the test.
All right, so if you really want to get English humor, you got to understand how the language kind of plays with itself. Let's dive into the 3 main tools that make all these puns possible.
Okay, first up, we've got something called homophones. So, what are they? Well, these are words that sound exactly the same when you say them, but they're spelled differently and have totally different meanings. You know, like flour you use for baking a cake, and flower that grows in a garden. They sound identical, which is why they can be so confusing when you're just listening. It's all about context.
Next up, we have homographs. Now, these guys are kind of the opposite trick. They have the exact same spelling, but they can mean different things. And get this, sometimes they're even pronounced differently. Think about the word tear. You can tear a piece of paper, or a sad movie can bring a tear to your eye. See? Same spelling, different word. These are the ones that can really trip you up when you're reading.
And last but not least, we've got the true master of disguise, the homonym. These words are the trickiest of all because they have the same spelling and the same pronunciation, but, you guessed it, completely different meanings. So, the bark on a tree is definitely not the same as the bark you hear from a dog. Homonyms are basically a combo of the first 2, which makes them a challenge whether you're speaking or writing.
So let's just put it all together. This little chart breaks it down perfectly. Homophones, same sound. Homographs, same spelling. And homonyms, they're the whole shebang. Same sound and same spelling. But what's the one thing that's always different for all 3? The meaning. And that right there is the secret sauce. It's where all the humor is hiding.
Okay, so now you've got the tools. You know the secret codes. Let's head back and see if we can crack a few of these puzzles together. You ready?
All right, let's bring back that first joke. Did you hear about the guy whose whole left side was cut off? He's all right now. So now that you know about homophones, can you see the wordplay? Where's the trick?
Okay, so here's the magic. The punchline is playing on the homophone all right. The first thing you hear is all right, as in, he's okay, he's doing well. But the joke flips it on you and uses the literal meaning. His left side is gone, so what's left? He is, quite literally, all right side. Get it now? All right, ready for another one? Did you hear about the bicycle that couldn't stand on its own? It was too tired. Okay, so a bicycle falls over. Why? What's the pun here?
You got it! It's another homophone. Too tired, T-O-O tired, meaning exhausted, sounds exactly like too tired, T-W-O tired, as in it has 2 tires. And what makes this such a classic dad joke is that both meanings actually work. An exhausted person might fall over, and well, a bicycle with only 2 tires definitely can't stand up by itself.
Let's try another. This one uses a really common English idiom, so listen closely. Why are postmen so unhappy all the time? Because they're given the sack every morning.
So what's going on here? The phrase, to be given the sack, is a great example of a homonym. It means 2 totally different things. The idiom, the one we usually use, means to get fired from your job, which would obviously make you unhappy. But the joke plays on the literal meaning. What does a postman get every morning? A big sack to carry the mail.
Okay, one more for this round. This one's a little more subtle. It all comes down to just one word. My mom tried to make a joke about the TV, but it wasn't remotely funny.
The key word here is remote. When you say something isn't remotely funny, you mean it's not funny at all. But since the joke is about a TV, your brain immediately jumps to the other meaning of remote, the remote control. It's a really clever little play on words.
Okay, you are doing awesome. You've cracked homophones, you've cracked homonyms. You're ready. It's time for the final boss. A joke that manages to squeeze two different puns into a single sentence.
Check this out. There is a fine line between a numerator and a denominator. Only a fraction will understand. Now this one uses a little math, but the wordplay itself is 100% English. It's got a two-part punchline, so you got to catch both.
Let's break this down piece by piece. First part, a fine line. In everyday English, this means a very small, subtle difference between two things. But in math, it's literally the horizontal line you draw in a fraction. Boom, that's pun number one. Then, the second part, only a fraction will understand. Okay, a fraction is a math term, right? But it also means just a small number of people. See, a double pun? Pretty clever, huh?
So, okay, we've had some fun with these. Let's be honest, they're mostly dad jokes. But what does this all have to do with you and your journey to learn English?
Here's the big takeaway, the why this matters part. When you can finally hear a pun and get it, that means something huge has happened. It means you've stopped just translating words in your head. You're actually starting to think in English. You're holding two meanings in your mind at the same time. You're understanding nuance and you're getting a feel for the culture. It's a massive, massive leap forward for your comprehension.
And that really leaves us with one last question to chew on. We've seen how English loves to use all its weird quirks, its identical sounds and spellings, to make people laugh. And it makes you wonder, what does a culture's humor really tell you about its language? What secrets are hiding in the jokes people tell? It's something to think about. Thanks so much for watching.